Alright, hey guys, we are going to multiply and divide rationals next. So this is going to be page 18, I don't know why I put 16. So multiply and divide rationals. So we're going to use our rules that we learned yesterday, and now we're going to apply them to not only whole numbers, but also fractions and decimals. So here are your notes. You did the other side to this the other day, so if you want to pause it, write down. Again, it doesn't have to be laid out like this. This is just how I lay it out for my class. So you can kind of rewrite it how you want, but make sure you do copy down these notes. Today I know it's a little bit of writing because you're writing the steps for how to multiply decimals, multiply fractions, and then dividing decimals and fractions. But it's very important that we know how to do this. You have been doing this since 4th grade, so hopefully by now you have it down. But if not, today is another day to learn, okay? So we're going to review this real fast, and then your classwork, and then everything else from Evermore could be positive and negative, fractions, decimals, and whole numbers. Alright, so I'm just going to run through this and work it out step by step. So the first thing, we're multiplying decimals. So I'm going to write it out like a multiplication problem, like you normally would. Multiply like normal. So here 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And then 2 times 1 is 2. I'm going to add a 0 for a placeholder. 6 times 8 is 48. Carry the 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 4 is 28. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. Then I'm going to add it up. 9 plus 8 is 17. Carry the 1. 8 plus 2 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. And then 8 plus 1 is 9. Then you have to look back in your problem, and you apply that many decimal spaces to your product. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 is how many decimal spaces we have in our problem. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is where our decimal goes on our product, or the answer for our multiplication problem. So the answer here is 0 and 9,176 10,000ths. Alright, now when you divide decimals, you are doing it by hand still, so we have long division. So I'm going to rewrite it. 1 and 7800ths is divided by 2 tenths. Now you have to make that outside divider, or you have to make the divisor, which is the outside number, a whole number. And so whatever you do to the outside, you must do it to the inside. So we're changing place values here. So now I have 17 and 8 tenths divided by 2. 2 goes into 17 8 times, and I subtract 16, and I'm left with 1. I'm going to bring down the 8, and 2 goes into 18 9 times. Now it's important that you have that decimal point right there. So your answer is 8 and 9 tenths. So we moved to make the outside number a whole number, and whatever we did to the outside we have to do to the inside, and the decimal just goes straight up. So that's how you multiply and divide decimals. Again, this is just an extremely quick review of something that you've been doing since 4th grade. Now when you multiply fractions, you do not have to have common denominators. You simply multiply across. So we multiply straight across. A lot of people like to crisscross for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about, but you have to go straight across. So here, I'm going to rewrite the problem. And 5 times 2 is 10. And 6 times 3 is 18. Now this is not simplified, so we are going to simplify it. Both of these numbers can be divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. So 5/9 is our simplified answer here. And again, 10/18 and 5/9 are both equivalent. This one is just simplified. Alright, and then with division, you write the problem out first, and then a lot of you do keep change flips. So what that means is that first fraction stays the same. You change division to multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction upside down. So 2 over 4 becomes 4 over 2. Then you have a multiplication problem, So now we use our multiplication rules, or you multiply straight across. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. So now you have 4/6, and again, this does simplify. Both of these can be divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our final answer here is 2/3. So that was your speedy quick review on multiplying and dividing with fractions and decimals. Even though it was quick, it does still list out everything you need to know. If you do struggle with this, you always need to come back to this paper to help you, okay? Just a reminder with Mr. Sleepy Bear, when you have decimals or fractions that are positive and negative, as long as you're multiplying or dividing, you can use Mr. Sleepy Bear, but he only works for multiplication and division. All right, so just a quick refresher, since you have not used him since yesterday, if you had -6 times +3, you would cover up -6 and then a positive for 3, and it would, whatever is left is your answer. So our answer is going to be negative, and so 6 times 3 is 18. So my answer is -18. Also, you can just remember the rules. If they're the same sign, your answer is positive. And if they're different signs, the answer is negative. And that is your rule for when you have positives and negatives with multiplication and division. So I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later.